what Haven decides to pull out throughout this set. It is a best of 5. Haven seems pretty solid on the Wario right now, but who knows what we'll see throughout this, and the question will become if WebbJP can keep up with all of it.
It's a great question to ask always, because when you have two highly skilled players like we're going to be seeing seeds 1 and 3 here tonight, the question kind of takes those extra levels down as the players are going to be, because both of these players know how good each other are, what they can do with a single hit. I mean, instantly getting 35 there from Webb off of that IEJ forward air combo.
But yeah, and still going.
Oh my god, that was the hard and air extensions with that quick fastball was so nice from Webb.
And now you're up against Sheik in the corner, and not just any Sheik, the WebbJP special, throwing out those aerials and resetting all the way up to 100%. Another check chase, going to whiff that time, and now a reversal. What can Haven do with it? Nope, just right back in the ledge.
Go right back off stage. Non-tipper down tilt, setting up for combos when you don't have the high percentage of rage that you really need. Instead, we're just setting up normal ledge trap. Oh, gotta be careful with those reversal from off stage, though. Haven showing out with some of these nairs, trying to find any of these hits to clip. Wow, that's
finally able to get that up air, but I mean, Wario, he eats his Wheaties. He's a heavy boy, not going to kill that time. But WebbJP absolutely epitomizing the idea of if at first you don't succeed, try again. With the number of openings Webb is able to just consistently find, and finally the trials and tribulations end that first stock. Haven on a bit of a back foot here already, just can't get the momentum started.
And that fair was so high, and Webb fast fell just in the nick of time in order to block the nair out of shield from Haven. The spacing is so good, as Webb in this loser's run just seems insurmountable sometimes with how crispy he's been playing. Oh, he's looking for the down air reset on the platform. It didn't work out, but when Webb's in this headspace, he's a tough player to stop.
Crispy is a great word for it, and maybe that's the problem, distracting Wario with those ideas in his head. At 107 now on this second stock, potentially in prime kill confirm percentage if you can get those bouncing fish combos or the up airs, going to kill with the bad DI off the top from Haven.
Man, that's 3 times now. Haven just was hard DIing in so many of these confirms. You just can't be doing that, man.
Yeah, Haven got the homie DI tonight.
And he's still getting third. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
At least it's a best of 5 set. Things can go so wrong so quickly for both of these two.
Yeah, we absolutely should not. We should have learned our lesson by now. We should not be counting out Haven just based off of 2 stocks of a game. And there we see the signs of life coming out. Haven has every opportunity, even with this game. My man is playing Wario. If he can get a clean stock here and then just a little bit of cheddar cheese on top on that last one, could still be his game number 1.
Oh, what a combo there from Webb. And then reading the follow-up recovery with the bike, just going a little bit too low. Haven's timing mix-up, allowing him to survive that onslaught. But, oh my, I would have freaked out if he was able to get a reset with that jab off of the drag down. Man, this is looking so tough to deal with, and honestly, we're just kind of epitomizing a go next type of game.
Oh, I thought that was going to be it right there, but Haven holding onto that ledge for dear life, just trying so hard to make anything happen right now. We see those up air combos, or excuse me, those up tilt combo starters coming out, but there's the up air from WebbJP. Once again, no amount of DI is going to save you from that one. GG's, go next. What can Haven do to get back into this set?
I mean, just so well played on the part of Webb, so well positioned, and just fluidly moving from confirm to confirm. Like, simple 2 pieces get a whole lot more impressive when you see the layers come out from the neutral and from a prolonged advantage state. And Webb's counting of Haven kept him on the back foot until there was just nowhere left to go. Playing so well. As for what Haven can do about it, you're kind of just in a pickle of having to constantly make trades with Sheik, which Wario can do quite well. We saw his weight play off multiple times in that set, living through very extreme percentages, and a small stage is going to keep Webb's range of movement down as well. It's just a matter of, can you find that finishing blow on a character that can just be so hard to hit?
One thing I did notice between games as well, Haven with the audio counter pick, getting rid of the headphones. No more music for this man. He is locked in with game audio. Can you live? Yes, you can. That bike popped him up just enough after that accidental air dodge. However, WebbJP not too enthused by that idea. Gonna keep playing around the world in 80 days in 80% on this Wario right now. Make it an 85, and we are still going. My man hasn't landed in 45 seconds.
Prolonged advantage state, my beloved. Like, I just love seeing players just slowly and steadily whittle down the amount of options that another player has. As horrible it is to be on the receiving end of this blunder, it is so impressive to watch Webb cook. Unfortunately, on the wrong side of that type of read, and it is going to set up for a pretty prominent position here for Haven. Finding a couple strong hits close to this ledge can drop down a lightweight character like Sheik to her second stock in a hurry.
Absolutely. It's so easy for a character like Wario to shenanigan you out of your stocks in this matchup, and then again, that waft is always the ringer that can close things out. So if you're WebbJP here, you can't rest on your laurels. You have to keep on going, and that right there is why, after all of that momentum, at about 80%, Haven finds the one back air in the corner, and all of a sudden is winning the game.
This is why leads with Sheik can be so innocuous, if you're not finding that tipper down tilt confirm, if you're not finding the needles bouncing fish, or some sort of read or tech chase to close out a stock, then these 194 stocks from Haven will just continue to be a thorn in your side, as Wario consistently is able to find kills at pretty reasonable percentages.
Yeah, I call 80% pretty reasonable indeed. However, 200.
We live in a Smash game where Steve exists. Cut me some slack.
Yeah, that's true. That's the DLC default kill percent right there. Now Haven, off the momentum of that early kill, able to completely change the story of this game. Accidental runoff there, I think. I'm not quite sure what was going on, but the onus is suddenly on WebbJP. Even if you get a crazy advantage state like what we saw on that first stock, that would just bring us back to even at this point.
I mean, 21%, and Sheik with a little bit of rage can certainly turn this around very quickly, not only with a ton of damage, but so many of these confirms will give you the added boost of having 120, 130 percentage. Ooh, that bike almost closing out the stock, though. Webb trying to find his way back, just lands with the jab here. Ventini trying to find some big starter. It is Haven, though, dropping the down tilt confirm, and instead just looking for some sort of big read. The cross-up jab, very aware. Haven played this matchup a number of times, knows that when Sheik is too close to your shield, the final hit of the rapid jab will send you through it. But Haven just going with the down smash after the drop shield, very aware.
I love that stall from Haven off stage there. Just completely shutting down that down B from WebbJP, not letting it even be a factor, and taking advantage of the potential mix-up option of whether or not he can go across the stage, making it so that WebbJP can't just hard commit to something with those ledge traps.
This is a pretty peak position here for Webb. The bike is currently on the stage, which means that it isn't... Oh, never mind. Well, the big thing is when you edgeguard Wario without its bike, it becomes a whole lot easier. So good on Haven for destroying it and spending the time to do so with that dash attack, so that any of these ways that allow Webb to get back into this game, primarily edgeguards, are off the table.
Ooh, but my man thinking with his noggin there, able to take it with another back air. That's 2 back air kills in one game. both of which at relatively low percents when you consider how hard WebbJP was working to get anything going there. And this is what we were talking about. That first game, you can't count Haven out just because he had a bad start, stuck out the Wario, put on those headphones, and look how much of a difference it made on that Smashville game.
Absolutely here, Lentini. And we're seeing the downside of a character with such a swarming advantage state. If some of those 50-50s don't go your way, or you don't find that read to close out a stock, then Sheik doesn't really have that raw killing aerial or raw killing dash attack to cement leads with high percentages and to close out stocks reliably. She has to rely on those confirms and some of that blender-like advantage state. So Haven took advantage of that, in game number 2, while Webb was able to find those stocks and find those reads reliably in game number 1. It's not so much that she can't kill, but she certainly has a hard time cementing leads with stocks rather than just damage.
Now you could say it, she can't kill.
Nah, I don't agree with that. I'm not about to spread misinformation.
Oh, okay. All right, I dare you. Post that on Twitter, see how it goes. I'll post she can't kill, and I have a feeling that my comments are going to be a whole lot nicer to me.
Well, social media is a thing, so, you know, I'm just not even going to play that game.
Nah, you gotta double down. It's for the interaction farming. Speaking of interaction farming, though, WebbJP farming those aggressive interactions and the Diamond Cutter going to take the first stock. And this is the kind of momentum shift WebbJP needs after how that last game went.
We've now played 2 games with a center platform here, Lentini. Twice over, Haven, when getting dragged down into a tech chase on said platform, he techs to the left, typically away from Webb. Got to keep that in mind for any sort of reads coming out in elimination games later on in this set, because you know that Webb is going to start taking notes about some of these tech habits that Haven has been showing off.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Those are the kinds of things, like you mentioned, that tend to show up in those final games, in those last hit scenarios. Both of these players slowly but surely downloading each other. And now, at the moment, WebbJP's got a bit of an advantage. But you got to ask, did you cash out on your reads? Maybe Haven's holding something back. Maybe an opportunity here with the dash attack on the missed tech. And all of a sudden, you're back in this 38% off of one hit.
Man, and Haven choosing to prioritize, because this game is so even and so back and forth, you can save the watt for last stock as just an instant delete button and keep Webb on the back foot. It's huge here for Webb to take this stock first, to maintain the tempo of play and not let Haven not only control the speed at which you die, but the speed at which the game is played as a whole.
Absolutely. And Haven is the kind of player I've seen, he tends to like to hold that waft for the last stock either way, because, you know, it's a bit of a catch-22 even when you're down. If you pull the trigger on that waft on the second to last stock, like you were talking about, it stops being a threat in that end game, and it gives a character, especially like Sheik, kind of just free reign to mash buttons on you, because you don't have to worry about that win condition anymore.
I'm gonna discuss waft ergonomics in between the games, but we are certainly seeing the result of some solid gameplay there from Webb. Now, to touch on waft a little bit, the idea of utilizing waft early in games is if you feel like the set is, or each game is going to go long in the timer, because when Wario gets a full waft, it stops charging. So you got to use it in order to keep that resource on your end and in your back pocket, whether you're not just using one waft per game to close out a stock, but using a waft and a half or even 2 wafts if the timer and if the game length is being dictated by just a long, drawn-out, tense neutral, which Wario can oftentimes fulfill himself because you don't really want to interact with a character with as good a frame data and as powerful a combo game, so you're going to try and take your time, which only feeds into his impressive resource game. It's quite the catch-22. Haven kind of just choosing to play the one stock and it's gone as a final big finisher.
Yeah, I completely agree with your analysis there. And there are certainly some matchups where we see Wario players, most notably on the international stage. We have Gluttony, of course, who in some matchups, say like the Sonic matchup, he will happily sit there and wait and get that first waft early and then maybe go for a half waft later, or even the full waft if he gets the opportunity, because even the half waft can do so much for him. However, on a stage like this, I don't think that's going to really be in the cards in this matchup.
Certainly depends on how the latter half of the game will go, and if Haven is going to be able to survive until percents that he did in the previous time we were on Smashville, living until 210 on his first stock means you're in pretty good shape for just about anything you want to do with or without Waft. And honestly, shades of game 2 as a whole here, Lentini. Extreme percentages for Haven, low, almost to 100 for Webb, and we're certainly threatening a back air in the close to the edge to take this first stock from both players.
Max Rage Wario is an absolute menace, and WebbJP has to be so careful getting those flashbacks right now. There's the back throw. Can we see that back air that we know Haven is so good at using? No, WebbJP does get back to the stage, but you've got to close this out. You see the shadow boxing coming out from Haven. He wants it.
224 here. And certainly dash attack does it, which is why you see Webb hang so much close to the ground. Back air will do it as well. Dash attack is the one that will be the one taking the stock, just calling out the neutral getup with the swiftest.
Dash attack at ledge. What kind of cursed timeline are we in that was optimal for the kill? Either way, good stuff to WebbJP for acknowledging that as an option in that situation.
I mean, I think I heard this first from Charles. Shout out to Charles. Every Sheik main knows the dash attack kill percentages. Hello!
But he needs to watch out for the giant fist. My man Squidward has permeated the game, and now the momentum's going the other way. Don't get down there. Okay, we're still alive.
Super careful, pivoting over to this platform, trying to get on a different level of Haven, just to find any means to get back into these falling aerial type games. Oh, the Nair stuffs him out, but man, every interaction with Haven gets so tenuous when you have this, kill me button online at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, this is that really scary situation where WebbJP does not want another 200% Max Rage Wario on his hands like he's seen so many times. But he has to be so careful because that waft is a perennial threat for the rest of this game. The way Haven is just holding on to it, waiting for that perfect moment to throw it out. What can Webb do to close this out before Haven pulls the trigger? Ooh, DBZ.
I mean, just get to 224 again and dash attack.
Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Over the bouncing fish in neutral. Off of the needles. Great confirm from Webb. And now this is a comfortable spot.
Yeah, you feel a whole lot better here, though dash attack is, down tilt dash attack especially, is certainly on the table here for Haven. Another straight horizontal recovery. Forward tilt, such a proper punish out of shield. Webb no longer taking risks with stuff like shield drop down tilt. Instead, we're just fairing or naring out of shield and getting Wario out of our face and back into disadvantage. Oh my god. 3 reads on the drift in a row. Just perfectly played advantage, but the down air out of hit stun takes that final, that second stock from Webb, and the final stock already in danger.
Oh, it's not over yet. Haven knows the win condition. He's ready for it. We see those up tilts getting primed, just doing his warm-ups over there. The falling up air as well. Webb has to be so careful.
It's again a tech on the platform. He teched away. Webb missed another potential stock there with the diamond cutter, but just a couple forward airs here. We're out of a lot of percentage ranges for Waft here. It's basically just falling up there.
He almost had it there. The back air not going to connect as well, but that will. And WebbJP threads the needle using a